At the invitation of the President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, President of Mongolia, Khurshukh Okhna, is paying a state visit to the Kyrgyz Republic on July 20th to 23rd, 2025. The President of Mongolia, Khurshukh Okhna, arrived in the city of Bishkek for the state visit to the Kyrgyz Republic on July 20th, 2025. President Khurshukh Okhna and accompanying delegates were welcomed by the President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Mongolia to the Kyrgyz Republic, Ganhoik Sotnam, and Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Kyrgyz Republic to Mongolia, Aybek Artikbayev, at the Manas International Airport, Bishkek. Kyrgyz artists presented a cultural entertainment performance to the Mongolian representatives at the Manas International Airport. The significance of the state visit lies in Mongolia further developing traditional friendly relations, enriching economic cooperation, and strengthening bilateral friendship with Central Asian countries, particularly the Kyrgyz Republic. A total of 28 embassies, 50 consular and representative offices from foreign countries are currently operating in Bishkek. Past presidential state visits from Mongolia to the Kyrgyz Republic include Baghband Natsak in 1999, Ikhbayr Nambar in 2007, Ilbukdaj Tsakha in 2012, and Batullah Khaltma in 2019. Meanwhile, past presidential state visits from the Kyrgyz Republic to Mongolia include Askar Akayev in 2002 and Sadir Japarov in 2023. President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, officially welcomed President of Mongolia, Khurshukh Okhna, at the Intimak Ordo Presidential Palace. During the welcoming ceremony, the national flags of the two countries were raised in front of the state palace. The commander of the National Guard of Honor saluted the President of Mongolia, and national anthems of the two countries were played. The Intimak Ordo, which opened last year, combines Kyrgyz culture with modern architecture, symbolizing the country's rich cultural heritage as well as commitment toward modern development. Mongolia and the Kyrgyz Republic established diplomatic relations in 1992. The Kyrgyz Republic has a population of 7 million. The President of the Kyrgyz Republic is elected by popular vote for a single 6-year term, and President S. Japarov has held office since the extraordinary election held in 2021. The main sectors of Kyrgyzstan's economy are agriculture, mining, light and food industries, energy, and textiles. The volume of foreign trade amounts to $16 billion. The country primarily exports gold, agricultural raw materials, iron, glass, coal, and cement, while importing passenger vehicles, petroleum, natural gas, machinery, and chemical products. President of Mongolia, Khurshukh Okhna, paid tribute and laid a wreath at the Great Orkhon Memorial Monument located within the Ata Beit Historical and Memorial Complex. Upon the arrival of the delegation at the complex, the honor guard of the Kyrgyz Republic stood in formation, and the exemplary brass band performed ceremonial music. It is a tradition for visiting heads of state and government to pay tribute and lay wreaths at the Great Orkhon Memorial Monument. During the official talks, the two heads of state evaluated the successes of the past 30 years and determined priority sectors as well as prospects for enriching and enhancing bilateral cooperation with an economic focus. President Khurshukh Okhna extended an invitation to visit his homeland, the heartland of Central Asian history and culture blessed with stunning nature, and expressed genuine gratitude to President Sadir Japarov, the Kyrgyz state, and its people for the warm welcome. Mongolia expressed its intention to broaden and further deepen relations and cooperation in all sectors with Central Asian countries, specifically the Kyrgyz Republic. The President of Mongolia emphasized that the comprehensive partnership established during the state visit advances the traditional friendly relations of the two countries, leaving a mark on the history of the bilateral relationship. Noting the state visit by President of the Kyrgyz Republic Sadir Japarov to Mongolia in 2023 as an important advancement in expanding and enhancing friendly relations, President Khurshukh Okhna expressed confidence that the mutual state visits of the heads of state within a short time will solidify and strengthen the camaraderie between the two countries' peoples. President Sadir Japarov noted Mongolia as an important regional partner and expressed intentions to increase the frequency of high-level discussions, strengthen mutual trust, and expand and develop economic cooperation. The two heads of state noted with satisfaction that 90% of past agreements have been implemented. The two presidents signed over 10 documents aimed at strengthening the legal environment of bilateral relations and expanding cooperation in law, agriculture, culture, education, science, and information technology sectors. Within the framework of increasing trade turnover, the two sides validated international veterinary certifications to export mutton, goat, meat, beef, horse meat, as well as meat and byproducts to Kyrgyzstan, and to supply fruits, berries, fish, and fish products to Mongolia. Within the framework of the White Gold National Movement of Mongolia, initiated by the President of Mongolia, the parties agreed to implement joint projects and programs for processing and manufacturing knit and woven products by integrating Mongolian wool and cashmere with Kyrgyz cotton and textile production. The two sides reaffirmed their intentions to deepen and enhance cooperation within the United Nations and other international organizations. President of Mongolia Khurelsukh met with Chairman of the Cabinet of Ministers and Chief of Staff of the Presidential Administration of the Kyrgyz Republic, Adilbek Kasimaliyev, and Speaker of the Jokorku Kenesh or Parliament of the Kyrgyz Republic, Nurlanbek Turgunbek-Ulu. President of Mongolia Khurelsukh highlighted the successful outcome of official talks between the two heads of state and noted the mutual agreement to elevate the traditional friendly relations rooted in shared nomadic heritage, history, and customs to a comprehensive partnership across all sectors. President Khurelsukh emphasized the importance of interparliamentary cooperation, stressing that the reciprocal visits of speakers of parliament in 2024 played a significant role in deepening ties and strengthening cooperation between the two countries. Speaker Nurlanbek Turgunbek-Ulu affirmed that the Kyrgyz state, government, and legislature attach great importance to the state visit of the President of Mongolia and expressed readiness to provide all kinds of support in broadening interparliamentary cooperation. The two sides reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening the legal environment of bilateral relations, organizing mutual visits between the legislative bodies of the two countries, and sharing experiences. Speaker of the Parliament of the Kyrgyz Republic, Nurlanbek Turgunbek-Ulu, has served as Speaker since 2022. The Jogorku Kenesh is a unicameral body with 90 members elected for a 5-year term through a mixed-member proportional system. The Kyrgyz Republic has successfully adopted Mongolia's experience of using election technology and civil registration systems in its last 2 elections. Past visits from the Kyrgyz Republic to Mongolia include visits of Chairman of the Assembly of People's Representatives, or the Lower House, Altai Borobayev in 2004, and of Speaker of Parliament Nurlanbek Shakiyev in 2004. Within the over 10 documents signed during the state visit aimed at expanding and developing relations and cooperation, the two countries will increase trade turnover and create a favorable business and investment environment, cooperate in protecting the interests of citizens, preventing, stopping, and investigating crimes, jointly utilize the Bishkek-Urumqi-Ulaanbaatar road corridor, implement projects and programs symbolizing the bilateral relations in the mining and other sectors, enable citizens who have resided and worked in Mongolia or the Kyrgyz Republic for over 1 year to replace their national driver's license with a local one. Supply wool and cashmere products to the Kyrgyz Republic within the White Gold National Movement initiated by the President of Mongolia. Establish factories for processing meat, meat products, wool, cashmere, hides, and leather, and supply the products to the international market. Supply Mongolian yaks and goats to the Kyrgyz Republic and increase the supply of fruits and vegetables. Cooperate in digital development and innovation, digitization of state services, information technology, and cybersecurity. Establish a Mongolian Kyrgyz education and cultural center, and implement a program of Mongol studies. Facilitate student exchange in Mongolian and Kyrgyz language studies through government scholarships of the two countries. continue the implementation of the Billions of Trees national movement in connection with the Green Heritage Initiative of the Kyrgyz Republic, establish a Mongol-Kyrgyz Friendship Grove Park in Mongolia. Darhang Ol Amuk will cooperate with the Office of the Plenipotentiary Representative of the President of the Kyrgyz Republic. Over 150 entities from the high technology, energy, mining, transportation, logistics, education, banking, finance, food, agriculture, trade, service, and tourism sectors participated in the bilateral joint business forum, building networks and establishing agreements and negotiations. Additionally, a Mongolia-Kyrgyzstan Business Council has been established, aiming to support inter-entity cooperation, implement joint projects and programs, and boost business. Within the state visit, the Mongolian National Art Theater presented a performance for the first time, and exhibitions of horse fiddle and photography were showcased to the Kyrgyz people. President Khurelsukh was officially escorted from the Manas International Airport in Bishkek by the President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, alongside Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Mongolia to the Kyrgyz Republic, Ganhoyek Satnam, and Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Kyrgyz Republic to Mongolia, Aybek Artikbayev.